Hi, I'm Ian, the inventor of these funny-looking winter suits with tubes coming out of them. Yeah, I know it looks mad, but these tubes completely solve the problem: cold hands. They really are a total solution. The only variable is how often you have to use these tubes while sailing. For all you sporting, life-loving people, as winter approaches, that first sail when the cold hand problem first kicks in, it isn't just irritating, it is really depressing. Think about it, it is all about the hands. When you give up sailing for the winter, or choose not to sail in below say 8 Celsius, it is not because of the cold. To be exact, it is because of cold hands. For the last 40 years, wetsuits and dry suits have brilliantly looked after every part of our body, with one just massive exception: the hands. For the first 25 years, I just let the blood circulation to my hands switch off during the winter. It was uncomfortable, with the very painful grand finish of hot aches, but I put up with it to get out on the water. Then suddenly, in my early 40s, I hit a big problem. The blood circulation didn't just switch off, my hands started going completely white. And to bring them back to life was almost impossible. Basically, I had started to suffer from Raynaud's disease, and I now understand that is related to the 25 years of abuse I had inflicted on my hands. Every time the blood circulation closes down to the hands, small blood vessels called capillary beds are permanently damaged. The more often it happens, the more the damage, leading to fragile cracking skin and possibly Raynaud's disease and vibrating white finger. Ask a postman, ask starboard Sven Rasmussen, ask anyone that has spent a few years letting their hands go cold, whilst at work or playing. Although I am now in my 40s, my hands look like I am in my 70s. Look at the state of them. You can almost see the line of the wetsuit wrist seal. I wouldn't mind if I had found the balls to do a windsurfing forward loop during all these painful, harmful years, but I didn't. However, as I have now discovered that this pain, misery and damage is all totally unnecessary, maybe by passing this discovery on to you great people, I can salvage some satisfaction from my 25 years of sailing with cold hands. The Raynaud's kicking in was my turning point. I had suddenly crashed into a major problem. I needed to try something new. Knowing that when we get off the water, we all immediately blow our hands warm, I went to the local DIY store to buy some tubes. Quite simply, I wanted to be able to blow my hands warm while actually on the water. At the first attempt, in about 4 Celsius, I simply ran the tubes along the outside of my wetsuit, but it didn't work. Although the breath coming out of my mouth was warm, the breath coming out the tube ends was totally useless. So I stuffed the tubes down the inside of my wetsuit and, eureka, it worked. As soon as I felt my fingers going cold, I could blow them warm again. It was so easy. If I fell in the water, as soon as I got going again, I could blow my hands back to comfort in a few seconds. Plus, I noticed something amazing. The bit of water that had got inside the tubes after a fall blew out feeling warm. Basically, not only does the suit insulate the system, your body heat inside the suit boosts it so much so that it heats any water getting inside the tubes up in seconds. I now know that this system is perfectly comfortable and works with just about any design of winter wetsuit or dry suit. I am now loading the system onto the Pro Limit brand's range of fantastic suits. It is a far cry from the first winter when I launched the Ianovated wetsuit, which had been designed around the tubes with a baggy upper body fit facilitated by a dry zip. Most of the awesome early pioneering customers were sailing on their own because it was too cold for conventional wetsuit owners, but doing the dry zips up on their own was a major problem. Another massive clangor of mine was the choice of the white tubes. The logic was the more noticeable the better, but I hadn't anticipated the ridicule these unfamiliar tubes would attract. On a daily basis, I had to swallow troll comments. You should pee down the tubes. This system is for the pussies, and so on. But I had to learn to ignore it because all the customers were confirming that the problem had been solved and that they were now enjoying winter's better wind and waves. In those early days, however, a valid knockback was the claim that they could not sail wearing gloves. And of course, my system does need a basic hand cover to circulate the breath around the hand. Grip isn't the actual problem with using thick neoprene gloves. To be exact, it is the loss of critical feedback through the sense of touch, which causes you to overgrip, and that makes your arms tired. I stress, it is all about the sense of touch feedback. My breath heating meant I could focus on developing hand covers that circulates the breath but does not disturb the sense of touch feedback where it matters. For windsurfers, kite surfers and kayakers, I came up with this clear grip hand cover. The traditional open palm mittens rely upon a layer of material under the fingers, which is in fact the most critical part of the grip as a source of touch sense feedback. I managed to get rid of that material by having a neoprene block pull against the finger ends, thereby delivering total control of the hand cover, but without any material disturbing the hand's contact with the boom, bar or paddle. The breath heating, of course, enables you to blow that bar under your grip warm as well as your hands. For dinghy sailors, the breath heating enables you to carry on wearing the protective, fingerless summer gloves, but with just a thin rubber surgical glove underneath them. The sense of touch feedback, especially at the ends of the fingers where the crews need it, is fully preserved. The system does look like it's going to be uncomfortable, but it isn't. Yeah, sure. When you put the suit on for the first time and you're watching to see what the tubes feel like, you do know they are there. However, they are a natural feel, positioned to move and flex with all your possible body motions, so that they are not resisting or pulling against you in any way. That is what the looping down the back and the alignment with the top of the elbow hinge joint is all about. In the same way you forget you are wearing a wetsuit, you also forget about the tubes. The tube loop around the neck has received a lot of abusive troll comments, but it is a critical part of ensuring this total solution has no downsides. The loop holds the mouthpiece below the chin to be grabbed with a simple bend of the neck whenever needed. However, if the mouthpiece is actually in the mouth, the loop provides full head movement. When under your chin, the loop does not bounce around and irritate you, no matter what stunts you are pulling off. As it is a squeeze-tight fit at the mouthpiece, it simply pulls apart should it get caught on something, or you need to feed it through a buoyancy aid or harness. The squeeze-tight fit of the rubber mouldings that feed the tubes in and out of the suit means that the tube length can be adjusted to perfectly match every person and their chosen glove or hand cover design. It also means that the tubes can be totally detached from the suit when not needed, and the holes they leave plugged. However, as the tubes are a neutral feel, a lot of us never bother detaching them. On the hand neutral days, we simply pull the tubes at the wrist inside the suit out of the way and sail with an obsolete tube loop around the neck. I got a feeling that for as long as we rely on fossil fuels, this $10 tubing suit alteration is going to be the only solution. As the hands occasionally get immersed in water, chemical or battery technology is never going to be able to step up to the mark, and definitely not for $10. Exhale breath, boosted by the body heat inside the suit, is all you need to solve this problem, all day long, no matter how often you fall in the water. Okay, so that's the story so far. Our time on the water isn't just some nice time out, it is a critical part of our work-life balance. For the northern states of Europe and America, these tubes extend our water sports season by several months of the year. What these tubes achieve is so incredible, they must be mad. Thank you for listening.